But once you buy a microphone, you gotta hold it on something. It's not you're not just gonna stand there like this, and just hold it. They're very important for your podcast. You don't want to look like a fool holding your microphone during an interview. You're doing a podcast, not the red carpet.
Yeah, it's not exactly a performance.
Yeah, it's not a performance. I mean, it is, but
Right.
it's more.
I like the microphone look. If I had to choose between the lavalier, having a microphone in front of you it's empowering.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this person's about to say something, obviously, because there's a microphone there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's radio, right? Podcasting is it's the evolution of radio.
Absolutely.
And this is how radio people talk, and this is what they do. The reason why they have these things, because it's better, it's more stable. I can move this and do whatever I want with it. I like to touch things when I podcast. I'm very animated with my hands because I'm Italian. But yeah, the lav mics, I can still do those things. It's a different look and feel. But a mic stand, you got a few options here as well. So you can do one of these bad boys. This is a little heavy, which is on purpose. So this can work a bunch of different ways. Well, this is Chris. Is this microphone, Christian?
That is a microphone.
This is a microphone. Well, I just pulled out the shock mount.
That's fine. Goes right
Cool.
back in.
Goes right back in. So this does. There's a weight on the bottom here for the size of the microphone. This can be adjusted for the weight. There's is this a shock mount, Christian, or is this a regular mount?
No, that's not a shock mount. That's just a microphone mount.
This is a microphone mount?
Yeah.
So the mount holds microphone. This later screws in. Yeah, it's this little come on. It's this little knob at the end. And you screw it in. And you can still adjust this. You can adjust the height. You can adjust the size. But this can kind of get in the way. This is kind of where I draw the line and go, okay, I don't want this, too in the way of my shot because it looks a little bulky. But these are definitely cheaper. They're great options. We sell these as the DS1 desktop microphone stand. This is $30 on our store plus shipping. So that's a lot cheaper than the arm extender, which goes for $100 on our store. But the arm extender,
It's long enough to get out the shot.
yeah. So put it this way, right? It's this long.
Yeah,
Right.
it's actually longer than that.
It's
We took
yeah.
a piece of it off to make
Yeah.
it shorter.
Did you really?
Yeah. It's much taller.
Oh, that's right. Because so the stand, how the stand works, is that it's a clamp. It clamps onto the desk. Now, it can't work with all desks. It does clamp pretty far.
No, it gets pretty wide.
It's pretty wide. I'd say it's about.
It could probably clip on a desk that's
It's about that wide, 4 or 5 inches.
yeah, 4 or
maybe?
5 inches.
4 or 5 inches. So most desks it works, and I love.
That's a lot of wood if it's thicker than that.
Yeah, right. I love just the versatileness. I can have it curve up and on a right angle. I can do low, kind of like this.
And the end adjusts too.
And everything adjusts. I can go high and come down low. So these are good because it lets me fiddle with it how I want, right? Like if
on
someone's
the exact
if someone's
way
short,
for it to not necessarily be in
right?
the way as
If
well.
Like if someone I can go down here, right? If I need to raise my seat all the way up, I can go all the way up here. Like the arm extender is a must for me, and I love it. We sell the Rode PSA 1 professional studio arm on sale right now for $100.
Definitely beats a traditional boom that you'll see the actual the long part, splitting you.
Yeah, and it's like you can still hide it off camera, right? Like most professional, actually, I think all professional studios use the arm. A lot of podcast studios use the arm, as they should use the arm. The desktop boom pole is also kind of like I showed. It's like what I showed is a boom pole as well as a stand. So there's another version of that stand where it just kind of sits in front and you can't really adjust it too much. This is an actual boom pole. You can kind of go back and forth. A pop filter. That's this thing, right, Christian?
Yep, that is a very small one. People are used to the one that you have sitting there right near you. For
The fly swatter.
yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Never thought of that.
Yeah, it's a fly swatter. And now, what essentially, Christian, explain what these things actually do.
Right. So if you zoomed in on one, they have, yep, so I'll let you show it. still pretty hard to see on camera, but they have these grooves on them that essentially are on an angle. So anytime any air goes towards them, it takes it and it pushes it down. If the microphone's right here and the pop filter's right here in front of it, you speak through the pop filter and it pushes the air down before it gets to the microphone. So those P sounds, those plosives, I have a pop filter on this one, so you can see right here. It takes the air and pushes it down before it reaches the microphone, so you're not getting all those sounds and also S sounds. Without the pop filter, could move it. Pizza. You're hearing that a lot more now. Pizza. It blocks those P sounds and those S sounds. Anything that air really comes out when you say a B or a P, those type of sounds, it blocks those from getting it. So you get a much cleaner recording. Constant P sounds and S sounds could be jarring, a little bit harsh to the ear when listening to a podcast.
Yeah, these things are great. Same thing. It has a clamp right here, so you can see it screws.
Yep.
Up
one side the clamp, and then you screw it in to lock it in.
Yes, you put it right in here. Oh, come on. I got you. Right, it'll go in there. Or you can do it on the arm, the extendable arm, and you just kind of move it so it goes right in front.
Right.
The one big downside to this, though, especially this one, the fly swatter, is that it doesn't look good on camera. It'll block your face.
And those are traditionally, if you were doing a podcast, with all probability, you probably wouldn't be using that size of a pop filter.
Yeah.
Instead, you'd find something that is small, like this one. Let's see. I'll take this off quickly.
Yeah, you want to find something that covers the microphone.
And it's just covering the microphone, and
it doesn't block your face.
And it's not in the way.
And if you're doing audio only, doesn't matter.
Yep.
It can be as big as you want it to be.
Doesn't matter.
The size doesn't really matter.
But it doesn't matter if there isn't any video, but there is the factor if you are doing an in-person interview, you don't want this big thing blocking your face while you're talking to them.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, it looks kind of ridiculous. Another thing is a wind filter. Unless your podcast is outdoors, you don't need a wind filter. It's like a sock for your mic. Like news reporters have it. Like it's like if they have a microphone, it's like the little blue top to the microphone. It's like foam. And that's just so if winds blow, it filters out the wind. That's what it does.
Yep, that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, like you can have one, but we don't sell them. You don't need them because most podcasts are going to be.
And you wouldn't use that in a inside studio situation.
Won't do anything.
Well, it'll dampen the sound for no reason. That's kind of the trade-off. You're outside, but you don't want wind, so we'll dampen the sound a little bit to make sure there's no wind. But if you're inside, you're just making the audio sound a little bit more under a pillow for no reason. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's everything. Actually, no, I do have shock mounts. I thought I had a thing for shock mounts here, or actual just mounts. Christian, what is this? Is this a shock mount?
That is a shock mount.
So this is a shock mount. So this is something where this microphone would rest in. Now, Christian, what does a shock mount actually do?
So it's in the title. Let me see if I could grab one right here. All right. So the microphone will go in here. And if you can see, there's little, let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Little strings right here.
Yeah.
And if you shift it around, you can see it. Basically, if you tap the microphone, it doesn't make a lot of boominess because it has these wires and it's kind of suspended. The mic is suspended. It's separated from the outer layer.
Right.
The mic is only right here, so you could pull that all the way up. And if you tap it, it's not gonna, really move around too much because it's actually isolated from the outside ring. So it's a shock mount. It's in the name. It's to stop any shock, or if you bump into it. I'm bumping into this, but it's not hitting the outside. It's just kind of moving in the middle. It's suspended in the air. Yeah. So if you bump it, it's not really going to make a loud noise. Versus this microphone, if you tap it, it's connected to the arm. It's moving the whole thing.
Right. and it'll make a little thud.
And we do have a shock mount, and I actually have it right here, but it's just really large and obstructive.
I think,
And we don't want this thing in our face.
yeah, like
Look how big this thing
we
is.
have, yeah, we have used these in the past, but it does look a little bulky on camera. I use them at home because, like, my podcast, my arm is a little further away, so it works. But like for this studio setting, it would be a little too big. And most mounts fit most mics. If you give it a Google, you should be able to find out what kind of mic it is or the equivalent.
There are generic ones, but it's best practice to get one that was designed for your microphone.
Yeah. So like if you're buying an Audio-Technica mic or a Rode mic, get a Rode or Audio-Technica shock mount because they'll tell you specifically in the description what kind of microphones that shock mount is made for. So that's my advice to you.